There we go.
What is
Back
up?
at it again.
Woo! Woo!
Back at it again with the podcast. Yeah, boy!
How are you, Tom?
Good. I'm getting along in life. A busy little beaver, like I always am.
Oh, have you been busy, mate?
I've been a busy little beaver.
You've been watching the paint dry, have you? Watching the grass grow.
Oh, you busy little fucking beaver. Who made that? What band was that again?
Fuck.
Something
They're so...
Ninja?
12-foot Ninja.
12-foot Ninja, that was it. Because it was that song they did, and it was like 6 different styles in one song.
Yeah, they're very, very strange, but that was actually a fucking... Like, that could have been a wee comedy skit in its own.
That was hilarious. I remember listening to that, and I was like, this is absolutely fucking exceptional.
But yeah, it's been a while since the last episode.
It has.
Far too long.
Been put off and put off. To be fair, the month of January just seemed to disappear.
Dude, I can't even fucking believe that it's February.
Like, it feels like yesterday was fucking Christmas.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like, what has happened since the last episode? Because we wouldn't have recorded... We did episode 1 for Halloween. Episode 2 was like a month later or something. So we haven't done one since way before Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, we had Christmas. I was back for a bit. Then I came back here. Been working, running a testing site at the uni campus.
Ooh.
Still working for the uni, and I've started my master's in marketing. Every one of my courses is Asian. Like, no joke. I was in a tutorial of 43 people, and 40 of them were Chinese.
You did say this was going to be the case, though, beforehand, didn't you? Like, you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but I didn't. Like, it's genuinely like everyone's Chinese. But the thing is, at the minute, because they're like loads of them are still in China, like studying remotely.
Mm-hmm.
We have to use WeChat because they can't access Facebook or anything like that in China.
You have to use what?
It's called WeChat.
Do you have to, like, make little avatars that are just like fucking Nintendo Wii Miis?
Literally, that's what they have. I had to make an account. I had to get verified by someone who'd had the app for at least 6 months to be able to make an account. And all they do is send gifs of cats. And they write everything in Chinese as well, so I have to use the built-in translator. Like, I'm looking at this weird animation of some sort of balloon dog twiddling its ears. That was the last message. Someone's name is just 2 watermelon emojis. It's just endless. There's some K-pop star saluting while the word respect comes up. And I have no clue whatsoever what the context of these are because I can't read the Chinese that's written over them.
That's pretty sad. But at least, you know, you're going to get your master's, hopefully.
Yeah.
Learn a bit of Chinese on the side.
That's the dream. I just don't really...
Do you know any Chinese at this point? Did you ever learn any?
I know 谢谢 means thank you. Which I said, we had to record a presentation for class, and I was recording it with them, and at the end they were like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I went, 谢谢, and so...
Just silence?
And, well, that's how they ended it, and they were like, did you just say thank you in Chinese? And I was like, well, none of you did, so I felt like one of us had to, because the topic's about China.
I actually do know one sentence in Japanese.
In Japanese?
Or, sorry, Chinese.
I was going to say, you studied Japanese for a while, I thought you'd remember a bit more than that. What can you say in Chinese?
多人不准摇.
What does that mean?
Freeze, don't move.
Oh.
It's a voice line of the Chinese character from Overwatch.
Right, okay, that's what. So I think...
I'm pretry sure ni hao is something as well, but I don't know.
Ni hao.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I can't remember what it means though. I remember there's so I lived with a Chinese guy for a bit, and he was like, what was it? Zataha. Zataha. It means like either how are you or like good morning or good day.
It's all hard to pronounce though, isn't it? Like
yeah, everything's very like toothy. It's like like you have to do it with like your teeth. Speak with the teeth and the mouth and the lips.
Speak with your mouth, not your ass. Anyway, so
a tough one for me.
What has happened since the last episode in the world? Vaccines are getting pumped out for a start. Finally.
I know you'll be getting vaccinated soon, surely. You're in like phase 3, are you not?
I don't know.
I think you're phase 3 of testing. I'm pretty sure is like your group.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that they're rolling out the vaccine, but I mean, fuck me, it's just still a bit mad. Oh, did you see what happened in Italy?
No.
So this has not been on the mainstream news. This is nuts. This has been all over Twitter. It's been on loads of like sort of like third tier news sites, but it's not been anywhere in main news, and I don't get it. Basically, there was this massive movement in Italy, and it translated into English to #IOpen, and 50,000 businesses just said, "Nah, we're not listening to the government anymore," and opened.
Right?
Like, and basically there's like videos. There was videos online of like police trying to come in and close the place, and the customers in like these cafes just lifting the police up and throwing them out the door, being like, "We pay for you." No, and that was that.
That's some mad shit. That would only happen in Italy.
I'd love to see that here. I'd be class. Imagine that in Glasgow. Imagine the chaos. If that happened in Glasgow and they went to hear any of the pubs, they'd just be terrified looking at whoever's inside. They'd be like, nope, nope, not dealing with that.
Yeah, the police walk in. Alright, fellas, we had a noise complaint. Don't worry, have fun, bye.
You better get out here, I'll beat your cock off.
I've been stabbed 5 times.
I just realised maybe you shouldn't use the phrase beat your cock off.
Yeah, you might need that. Anyway, Tom, tell us today, what is the topic and what have we got in store?
Well, first, Ryan, while you've already listened to it, I want you to listen to a little audio file I sent you before. It's only 8 seconds long, so please get that up and I'll give you a few seconds.
Okay. Now I'm going to press play in 3, 2, 1.
Well, that's gotta be a world record. Thanks for the fat 10 gift subs, Pikachu. My cock is throbbing. Throbbing!
So, I'm not going to lie. I thought... I actually... I'm still uncertain. Is that you or is that the guy?
Nope. No. So I have 2 questions in relation to this sound file.
Oh, no.
And this is for 2 points. First point is, what is his IGN?
What?
And the second question, the person who did it is a well-known YouTuber, but what is their IGN, their gamer name, which they use on Twitch? And the second one is, what is that in response to?
Okay. I'm not sub to the guy, but he's one of these ones that everyone knows. Is it liquid? No, critical moist critical?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
Fuck me.
He's Penguin Zero on YouTube.
no way! Yes,
The same
like the
guy.
Mighty Thirsty and
It's
stuff.
like, this is the Mighty Thirsty. If
You
you've
should
got
buy
shit
a
stains
packet.
on your desk. If you got shit stains on your desk, you might need a new job. Like, that's literally like one of my favorites.
The Mighty Thirsty can soak up anything. Buy a family of Mighty Thirsties. Throw them up into the ocean. The ocean will disappear. And then the Edge of Glory, the knife sharpener.
If you're not on the edge of your seat, then you're on the edge of bullshit. So that's it is. But what is that clip in response to?
Can I listen to it again, or am I supposed to only get the one listen?
Yeah, no, you can listen to it again. Let's do it again.
Okay, hold on.
You'll just need to play it twice in the edit.
Well, that's gotta be a world record. Thanks for the fat 10 gift subs, Pikachu. My cock is throbbing.
Tom, I don't know if you realize this,
Throbbing.
but it says in it what
What?
it's in response to, you dumbass.
No, it doesn't.
It does. He literally says, "Thank you for the 10 gift subs, Pikachu. My cock is
Nope.
throbbing. So it's obviously in
No,
response
no.
to someone gifting him 10 subs.
Nope. No. Incorrect, kind sir. So, it was actually, that was the gift subs was a red herring that was to throw you off. That was actually his response to beating XQC in the first round
in
of the
chess.
PogChamps chess tournament.
Oh,
and
my
he beat
God.
him in 4 moves in a Scholar's Mate.
You
And which he would-
fucking... We literally talked about... You explained this to me on our walk
Yep.
over Christmas.
Yeah, I did. I did indeed. No one was even referenced.
You cheeky bastard.
He's like, Daniel Dardixie is a fucking prophet. He said XQC would blunder, which he did. My cock is throbbing. It's just now me and my flatmate, anytime something good happens now, and we're like that's a really, really good, like, whatever, if we cook something good for dinner, like, that's a really good dinner. My cock is throbbing.
Right.
On to the main topic.
Well,
so today, this came about. This was my thought because I was walking down the street the other day, and there was a mum and a dad with their kid in the pram. The kid was like 2 years old, 3 years old, and it was disgusting. The kid had a fucking iPad, and it really, really pisses me off.
I thought you were going to say the kid had an eye patch. I was going to say, why is that so bad?
I fucking hate pirates.
I fucking hate pirate kids.
Don't let kids decide to be pirates at that age. They're not old enough.
They're not old enough to plunder.
They don't know the dangers of the curse of the Black Pearl. They're not old enough to make these decisions. No, but it's like, you see them with these iPads. I'm like, they should be looking around them. They should have toys, that sort of stuff. And it's like this lost generation of kids who they're like 8 years old and they're getting like iPhones and like iPads and everything techie. And there's like, where are the good old days gone? So I thought I'd bring up a few old toys, games, things that we played, like consoles back when they were like, they were the hottest shit out there. Like, every time you got a game, it was like double Christmas. Because like, I think that's what kids miss nowadays. It's just like everything's thrown at them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That is the future, though. That is totally and utterly the way things are going.
My fucking kids are not getting iPads. No chance. They're getting fucking stickle bricks and clay, if they're lucky.
Dude, if you have kids late enough, your kids will get fucking chips in their teens. Like, do you know what?
Chip me, daddy.
Before we get started, one exciting bit of technology, in my opinion, maybe it's not exciting at all, but the thought of being able to hear things through chips in the body, like music. Like imagine being able to, like, I've been playing over Christmas. I've been, as you know, I've got a video coming out tomorrow, Cyberpunk. I've been playing it obsessively. I've 100%ed it, and it's obviously based in the year 2077. So there's all this shit in it that's like obviously like futuristic tech, and there's loads of like issues and blah blah blah. But it got me thinking about loads of things that are gonna actually like realistically in the next 100 years are like absolute. Elon Musk is already working on this kind of technology, and anytime it's like Elon Musk wants a fucking flamethrower. Oh, like, okay, there's your flamethrower. Like, oh, Elon Musk wants to design a rocket that can land on the Earth again. Oh, we've done it. Okay, what's the next thing? Oh, let's people can listen to Post Malone in their fucking in their head, literally in their head, through a chip. And do you know what? That kind of technology is class. But imagine, right, you call me, and I just fucking like fingerprint scan a chip or something, some sort of bit in my body, and it answers the call, and I'm on the phone to you, like no actual hardware other than a chip in my head. Like, okay, I mean, it's gonna take years, like that kind of new giant step of technology. Every time a new bit of technology comes out, like, and it's a new technology that has not been done before, there's gonna be a million legal and practical issues, and it's not gonna be good for a long time. But when that kind of shit is normal and cheaper, and
like when they brought out the first computer and it was completely unaffordable to like the average person, and it wasn't very good. Like it had probably like 6 kilobytes of RAM.
Dude, for one of my modules last semester was cybersecurity, and usually you'd have an exam, but because of Corona, we had to do basically a giant essay report kind of thing on a topic of our choice on cybersecurity. So I did mine on the history and evolution of malware, and holy fuck, man, it almost gives you anxiety. Like it's unbelievable. Like the technology that we have now and like virus protection software and all that is only about because people went, I'm gonna be a little piece of shit and develop viruses. You know what I mean? And every time they find a weakness in a program or an outdated version of software, it's like someone who's clever enough will wiggle their way in, develop some sort of malware and spread it via email.
Like, sometimes there's not even a purpose to it. Sometimes it's just to cause shit. Like, sometimes it's not even like stealing people's details. It's just like, yeah, fuck you, we want to mess with your computer. Like, people just do it for badness.
Oh, for sure. Sure, there was oh man, I'm such a dick. I can't even remember. What did I call it? Oh my god, right. Hold on. I have to look it up because this is actually a really good example. I'm pretty sure it's on my computer here because I would have typed it on this one.
Well, like the Neuralink thing, just while you're looking for that, the fact that they've already put it in a pig and it's worked, it's just ridiculous.
In a pig and it's worked?
Yeah, they put it in a pig, man.
No fucking way.
Neuralink pig. Elon Musk unveiled a pig called Gertrude with a coin-sized computer chip in her brain to demonstrate how it would work. It's like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. And what they used to implement it was his company also designed this like nanotechnology sewing machine, which basically uses nanowires and sews it into your brain.
Dude, that's literally beyond belief, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you could go back like 30 years, right, and hand someone the latest iPhone, they would genuinely like drop it in fear. They would be like, what the it's like uncomprehendable. So the fact that we're now thinking of what's going to be literally unbelievably crazy to us right now, see our like grandkids, that'll just be normal to them. Like, it's
that's nuts. But then you're saying about like malware, like imagine like someone was able to hack these things. Imagine the chaos it could cause.
Yeah, that's that again was actually a really big thing in my report.
Really?
Because you can hack people's life support machines. That's happened before in real, like genuinely happened before.
Fuck off.
Yep.
What was like the interesting thing that with the Neuralink, the one they've put into the brain of the pig, right? It's only the size of like a small coin, and obviously the technology's really new. But even though it's that small, it can currently. I mean, bear in mind, there are tens of millions of neurons in the brain. Like, it's unfathomable how actually complex the brain is. But the fact that they've literally started this company like 2.5 years ago, and they've already made a coin-sized chip that they put into a pig, and it was able to record the activity of 1,000 neurons. 1,000 neurons from something that small.
One of my flatmates actually just got offered a PhD in neural networks. Simulating spiking neural networks.
That's so interesting. That is such an interesting field.
A program that simulates how the brain works.
Well, actually, one of the biggest criticisms of the Neuralink, not necessarily a criticism, but like one of the barriers it's going to face, is that even when it gets to the point they're going to make it like the nanotechnology, and then will get more and more complex to be able to record more neurons. But what's going to hold them back is like that chip will have to then decode those signals, and our immense lack of understanding of how the neurons actually work in the brain is what's going to hold it back. Not the technology behind it, but actually the fact that we don't know why half the stuff happens the way it does, which is nuts. Right? We think we know so much about the brain, and there's so just infinite amounts. They have no clue why it works that way. Like even memory, there's a certain extent where they know why memory works that way, but then there's other times where it acts differently, and they're like, well, that doesn't align with anything we know, and that's where the confusion comes in.
So I couldn't find what I was trying to find you. I've read about one virus here about a kid, 1981 high school student Richard Skrenta was busy writing a program called Elk Cloner for Apple Systems.
Right.
Basically, just a little high school kid, which this to him was just a wee prank, right?
Oh yeah.
But it ended up being one of the biggest, or the biggest large-scale computer viruses in the world. But here's a more interesting fact, and this is one that I think that you'd appreciate because you're big into Minecraft, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1971, a man by the name of Bob Thomas developed a computer program called Creeper while working in an American research company. Now, what do you think the bad guys in Minecraft are named after?
Are they named after that?
Yep. because it's considered to be one of the world's first wide-scale viruses, and it was called Creeper.
That is nuts.
Yep. So creepers are
I've
actually
just
named.
googled it. Like, that is so weird. 10x operating system designed to copy itself between computers rather than simply move, self-replicating. So it's the first computer worm.
Essentially, yes.
That's so weird. That's class. But they love, like, Minecraft loves their little internet history things like that. Like, they called it, like, the one that really causes loads of damage. Now that's a lot of damage.
No, that's a lot of damage.
No, sorry. Now that's a lot of damage. I just cut a hole in my boat. If anybody hasn't seen this, look up flex tape. That's all I need to say. But then it's other things like they called like the ones that cause loads of damage, and like the end they called them Enderman after Slenderman, which is obviously like the creepypasta folklore for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that, but I can't believe that's where Creeper came from. I always wondered. Like, the thing is, in the game, they're really quiet and they just suddenly appear, but I guess that's kind of what, like, a computer worm is. But they kind of just sneak in and then blow up in your face, which I guess, I'm looking at, like, what the Creeper was, and it was just, like, you get it, and all of a sudden a message would put up on your screen saying, I'm the Creeper, catch me if you can.
Yeah, is that not... That's so fucking hilarious. I bet you he was pissing himself. That was actually technically the world's... Well, the internet's first big wide-scale troll. Because it never... It didn't have any malicious intent, but it was scaring people, you know what I mean? Like, there was no actual damage caused other than, like, maybe some psychological...
If that came up on my computer, like, terminal opened, or command line opened, and it just said, I'm the Creeper, catch me if you can, I'd be like, yep, I'm dead. Okay. This is the end. Like, you know. There's actually one final bit in relation to what we're talking about that I don't want to miss out on because it's made me think about it.
Go for it.
Because this was something I hadn't really read about or listened to about properly until like last year. You know the whole Y2K thing?
Yeah, like end of the world, year 2000.
Yeah. You know what, like literally, it wasn't bullshit. Like, where it actually came from. So... The reason it happened was because all computer systems obviously started being built in like modern computers and personal computers, everything computerized was really in like the 50s onwards, and they were all programmed with like dates, like just like we have like Americans have like month, day, year, we have day, month, year, but they were all just programmed in sync, like 2-digit dates. It wasn't like 1957 or 1963. They were all just like 63, 64, 65. And no computer system, including satellites, was set up to deal with the change back to 1. Or back to 0.
I get you.
And basically this guy and his small team had to write a program to rewrite all the code on like all major systems that could have gone down. Or else literally satellites would have just completely failed. Like world satellites, military intelligence, communication, everything would have gone down. Isn't that mad? Like, people were like, oh, it's the end of the world. But it literally could have been the end of massive, technological problems. Okay. Actual topic.
Yes.
So, they were talking about kids with these iPads and all that shit, and they're just sitting on phones and this sort of stuff. And I miss the good old days of, like, even like on TV, the rare time I watch TV now, you don't see adverts for like toys. You see adverts for like tablets and like games for tablets and that sort of stuff. And I was thinking back to like what were like the best things from like childhood. And I was thinking back to, and I thought this would be a good time to bring your story up. Crazy Bones.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When you suggested it, I was like, I bet you the Crazy Bones story from our last episode triggered that.
Because like Crazy Bones were such a staple part of our childhood, and I bet you 99.9% of kids these days. Sorry, I choked on my beer. 99.9% of these kids these days don't even drink beer. No, they. They wouldn't even know what a Crazy Bone is. Maybe some would know, but like it's like because of their parents. But like that was like I remember like we were talking about it. You'd be in like school or you'd have your friends around, you'd be flicking those things, you'd wreck your fingernails every time, it hurt like a motherfucker. But it was just a story that I definitely wanted to bring it up first.
You're not wrong.
When you and Fusco were talking about them. It was too good. Take it away, my man. I love this story. I need to hear it again.
Okay, quick recap. This was on episode 2, so I'll make it quick. Basically, my friend and I, Fusco, he's a big fucking fruit. I hate him. I actually don't like him. Like, he always messaged me and I reply to him all the time back, and I'm like, yeah. He tags me in like loads of shit about bands and stuff. I'm like, god damn it, I really don't like this guy at all. In fact, I dislike him so much, I've unfollowed him on basically every social media years ago. I don't think he's noticed.
Let's see if he listens to this.
No, he will. He will. But basically, he was round at mine, and I was like, fuck. I was just sitting there, like, we had music on, we were chilling. I was just like, damn, I fucking hate this guy. Fuck him. I was thinking about punching him in the face, right? But what actually happened instead was
right.
He brought up Crazy Bones, and I was like, do you know what? I fucking hate this guy so much. I might have said that before, but basically,
maybe a bit.
I was like, Crazy Bones. And I have like a bit of an eBay
problem
is ingrained into my mind. If I think about something, like say you were like 21 on this car, and I was like, yeah, where is the toilet? I would go onto eBay and start like looking up fucking toilet seats or something, you know. That's just the way my head works. Someone says a product and I'm like, I wonder what eBay has to offer. So he said Crazy Bones, I went onto eBay, I found Crazy Bones, and we ended up having a wee bidding war against each other for about 15-20 minutes before I realised that the person that kept outbidding me was the little cunt I had right beside me, who I fucking hate, by the way. I don't like him at all. And by this point, while he's watching this, he's probably thinking, why did he go on a tangent about me? And honestly, Jordan, I only call him Jordan when I'm being serious as well, right? There's no real reason. I just think you're too fucking handsome, okay? And I don't actually hate you.
This is definitely got off topic.
Yes, but sorry, that's the quick recap of Crazy Bones.
I've actually just gone on to eBay and looked up Crazy Bones, and how much did he spend in the end?
I can't remember, but it was like 20.
It was over £20.
No, well, yeah, it was like 20 something pound, I think. But it was like for a bunch of them, it was like 20 something, and there was a shark in it.
I'm literally looking at a box of like 50 for like £12, so he definitely overdid it.
Yeah, but they won't be the originals. They'll be like, they fucking.
Oh no, you're right.
Even now, if you go into your local like Tesco's or Sainsbury's, there's what Crazy Bones basically were, but they're like the like 80th generation of like rip-offs.
I know, they're like, yeah, I see what you mean.
Hey, come down to Sainsbury's and buy yourself a pack of Wackies. Wacky.
I just want a Sharky. That's what I miss.
I'll give you mine.
Sharky was like the ultimate. I just want him to like glue to my desk so I can stare at him, and every morning when I get up to do work and I say, what's the point? He can do, yeah, Tom, do you know what is the point? Just get back to bed, have a beer, eat a sausage. Remember when I was a kid, I played on like the Sega Mega Drive, and like that was like, I got to play that for like an hour a day, like maximum. That was like the highlight of my day.
Oh, you were a Sega kid?
I was a Sega kid. I loved it.
Did you have what was your first Nintendo console?
A Game Boy Advance SP.
Oh, what a magic place to start.
It was such. I mean, my first game was Super Mario Bros. 3. It's so good. It was such a good game. I've still got it. I've actually got it in Glasgow. I was playing it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh man, masterpiece.
But then the thing was, what I realised was those platform-based games and those sort of devices, even though the SP was newer, I still went to the old ones. I went back and I played Pokemon Yellow. I played Pokemon Crystal. I loved Crystal. Such an underrated game.
I never liked Gen 2, but I do appreciate it.
Oh, no. Crystal was just like the creme de la creme for me. I was obsessed with it.
Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Gen 3 was where I like properly started like loving Pokemon. Because I had Pokemon Blue as a child. But
Yeah.
even from when we were kids, it was kind of outdated a wee bit, because then we had Gen 3 out and it was like, okay, I got Pokemon Sapphire and Emerald and I was like, holy shit, this is...
I never had Emerald.
Oh my
I was
God.
like the only person that never had Emerald.
Dude, Ross and I got Pokemon Emerald, and it was literally all we did for weeks, and I remember us getting our copies and it was just magic, man.
I mean, like after I had the Sega, which was my dad's old console, I've still got it back home, my Sega Mega Drive. But then I had that, then my dad got a PlayStation 2. I think the PlayStation 2 was like a revolutionary console, personally.
It's still the best selling console. It's the best selling home console to this very day.
In my opinion, as it should be. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
I'll tell you what.
The leaps and bounds it made. It had the first video game that didn't have loading screens between areas. Do you know what that game was?
Give me a clue, because that's hard.
A guy with spiky blonde hair and a little animal that ran along with him.
You gonna say Jack and Daxter?
Correct. That's what it was. Very first one.
Hmm.
And that was the first video game not to have loading screens between areas.
Right enough.
And that, like, I just think that's mad. Like, that was so long ago, and that's now just, like, expected, but people were blown away by that. And, like, I remember playing that game going, this is thinking, like, they can never get better than this. Whereas now, if it's anything below perfect 4K, it's almost, like, not, like, it's almost looked at like, oh, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Or if it's not some pay to win, buy coins, all that sort of stuff. I just miss just buying a game and that's it. You just play the game.
Me
Like
too.
so much of it's like based around like XYZ.
No, I completely agree. And there's this weird ass trend now where like games are more than ever being released what is basically in an unfinished state, and it's all down to investors.
Yeah, it's like a skeleton game where you've got like the bone structure, but you haven't actually got the meat on top of it.
Yeah, and they flesh it out after the first year or two. See, Cyberpunk, it's not a complete example of that, but it's I'm sure you've heard it's had a turbulent launch where it's very glitchy, quite like basically actually unplayable on last gen consoles. But it's all down to the fact they had to delay a couple times, and then they were like, you know what, we cannot delay anymore. Investors are going to start losing interest, so we're basically forced to do it. But all the devs were raging because they'd spent 7 years basically developing this game, and it's fucking amazing if you have the hardware to run it. Like, my PC's quite strong, and I had a good experience, but so many people have had to return it. It was a bit of a letdown for a number of people, you know.
Yeah, and especially, you know, I think the promise of it being like compatible with like now old gen consoles, but realistically very new gen compared to Series X and PS5, and the promise of that is like what's let a lot of people down as well. Like, people had such a high expectation, and again, that was the developers. Their hands were tied with that.
Oh no,
Like,
the devs hate
and I
the
get
fact that it had to be released. Yeah.
Whereas you think about it, they would never have released Super Mario Bros. 3 unless everything was perfect. Unless every pixel had been proofed and triple checked. And
Well, they had no choice back then because you couldn't patch games via the updates. There was no such thing as that. It was what was on the cartridge is all that ever remained on the cartridge. You know what I mean? We're nearly on an hour and we still haven't really discussed shit.
That's fine though, because we went into other topics. I think the big one that I really loved was Beyblade. That's where it was at.
Dude,
That was like the ultimate shit.
I completely and utterly agree. Beyblade was like one of the first in my mind as like a childhood memory.
Like, I used to buy them, like, the normal ones. I used to go to car boot sales and find them. You'd get, like, in, like, toy packs and, like, McDonald's and stuff. They did them at one point. I remember at a car boot sale, I was over the fucking moon because I managed to get the remote-controlled one. You know, the one that you had, like, a trigger that you could actually change the direction of where it was going. And I was like, I'm gonna be the best Beyblader there's ever been.
Holy shit.
Like, and I was like, this is exceptional. And I remember, like, when you were a kid, you were like this. I remember my neighbour being like, oh my god. And I was like, what? And he was like, the monster actually just came out of mine. I actually just saw it in real life, and I was like, you're full of shit.
The bit beast.
But like,
ooh.
Like when you're that age, and it was just such a good. It had the TV show was class.
Dude,
like,
the original series was unbelievable.
It was so good.
Fucking
like,
Tyson, Max, Ray, Kai.
Like that's what I mean. Like, we're thinking about this now, right? And we're thinking about like, oh, that brings back memories of watching that with our friends. And then we were like, right, we want to buy them. Yeah, it was a massively good marketing tool, don't get me wrong, but that was a class toy. And I went to my neighbours and we bought like battle stadium things, and we like played again for like hours, like doing the same repetitive thing for hours. But that has brought up so many memories. What's that gonna do whenever you're looking up fucking Candy Crush? Because that's all you did as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when I saw a pear. Like, you know, it's not the same, and I think that's where it's missing out. Like, think you just listed off those characters from that show, like it was like your best mates.
Yeah.
You know, and you know they're hardly going to turn around in one day and be like, you know, kids when they're our age, kids that are stuck on iPads and that sort of stuff, playing these meaningless games, are not going to have that same sort of thing. They're not going to have that, oh, I watched this TV show and I bought the toy and me and my friends both had them, we played with them, that sort of stuff, whatever type of toy it was. And I think that's a massively missing experience. It's so sad. I'm like, I've still got all my Beyblades, I'm pretty sure. I think they're still all back home.
I'm not going to lie, going back to eBay here, of course, but on a regular basis, I looked for boxed Beyblades on eBay.
I've done that too.
And dude, you're so right. Beyblades were, sorry, for anyone, right, I'm going to assume there's going to be at least a few people who watch this podcast eventually, and they're like, what the fuck are these dickheads on about? Like, what's a Beyblade? So I will
it's a
briefly
little
explain.
Spinning disc of magic.
Yeah, it's like you had this little launcher, and it's basically like a spin top, I guess. But you could customize it. There was like different parts, and like there was different like strengths and weaknesses. So you could have like there was a metal ring in the middle. If you had a heavy metal ring, like a big one, it would mean that your Beyblade is like strong, but it doesn't have like the spin ability. Or you could like customize the like tip of the bottom of the Beyblade so that it was like pointy or not pointy, so it would either move about loads or not move about loads. And you spun them.
The top bit.
Yeah, there's little like monsters on the top, which were like from the anime.
And even the shape of them, you could get different heights and everything, and one's like multiple layers. Like
literally everything.
So many customizable options.
Yeah, like extra spinning rings to like knock your opponents, and it was so fucking amazing. Like, I have never seen anything nearly as good in my life. The fact that we're still thinking instantly of Beyblades, like 15 years later. No, like nearly 20 years later, it just goes to show how fucking amazing these things were. But basically,
I know that exactly. You completely hit the nail on the head. Like, that has stuck with us for like 20 years.
Yeah,
20 years. Like, and I look back, I'm like, that's class. I didn't know you at that stage, but we can connect and talk about that. That's what's amazing about that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, Beyblades were the fucking like, they were the biggest thing as a kid. The whole game was you and your friend, an opponent, would launch their Beyblades, like spin their Beyblades using a wee launcher, into like what is essentially like a giant dish, which was like known as the stadium, and there's wee pits in it. But basically, the first Beyblade to stop spinning was the loser. So you could customize, like say you and I had a wee battle. You know, the Beyblades would be fucking going at it ham. They were tilted so that they kept going in the middle and they would smack off each other. But if you lost, you could go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this metal ring out of my other Beyblade that's slightly heavier and put it in this Beyblade. Like, it was all about customization. Mm-hmm. And try again. Yeah. And it's like, holy shit, I won. Like, that one's way better. That works. And then you'd like, your opponent would do the same, and you keep adapting, and you keep buying like all these different like parts and Beyblades, and it is so good. Like, what else since then has that, like, what I'm explaining happened with anything? Nothing's ever been like that again.
And like, think about how much that must have like. We probably didn't at the time. We probably didn't take into account like how much of an impact that had and how we thought. Like, we went, oh, if it's heavier, it'll do this more. Or if it's shaped like this, we thought about these things. Like when we were kids. Like, you're not gonna get that same, ability with your hands and used to using your hands and things and trying to understand why it's better by swiping stuff on the screen. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
And when I say we were kids, this is like, we weren't like 10, 12. We were like, this all went on when we were like 6, 7.
5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
And like, whereas now, like, again, like I'm saying, like, there's like 3-year-olds with iPads. And like, even when you see them like out in restaurants and stuff, instead of like colouring in on like the menus or whatever, they're sitting like staring at screens. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. I'm tempted to keep I've still got all my fucking Beyblades in my wrist space. I'm tempted to keep them for my kids, but like, this is what real toys are. Like,
dude, I didn't keep mine, like, our dumb piece of shit. I don't have any Beyblades to my name. Is that not weird?
I think I've got like 20.
Dude, get them fucking out and we will play one day.
I've also got all my old Star Wars Lego sets vacuum sealed.
Well, there's another one. Lego? You were saying you really like Lego. I was never into Lego myself.
Oh, I adore Lego. I still do. Like, I still do. I can't even lie.
That's probably why you like Minecraft so much. It's basically the same thing, but one's a fucking program and one's physical.
I think it is a bit. Like, my mate Callum that I told you helped me build my PC, like, literally, if you go in, he just bought a flat, like, up the road, and even in his old flat when he's renting, every single room he's got different Lego sets of different, like, series in each room. So one room's like Harry Potter Lego, one's Stranger Things, one's Star Wars, and it looks class. Like, it looks so cool. And like, for my birthday, he got me a little, like, this is so meta, he got me a Minecraft Lego set for my windowsill.
No way.
Birthday. So I've got like little Lego pandas and stuff and like a little Minecraft set. And that is the ultimate meta right there from like what you were saying before. But it was so good. Like, there was just so many options. Like, I've got sets which are worth like decent money now. That's the thing. Like, because I kept all the original boxes and sealed them in plastic bags and all the original manuals, and I've got all the sets.
That's another thing. Like, anything that's on eBay for what is like a ridiculously inflated price from the original price means that there's still a big market for people looking for that product. So when you go onto eBay and there's people selling Beyblades for what is literally 50 times the fucking price boxed, that means that there's dumbasses like us going, fuck, I'm now working for a company and make a lot of money. I want an original Beyblade boxed. It's the same with like a million things. Like, I'll go on to this in a minute, but like, see things like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards. Fuck, man, the prices are so ridiculous.
I know, it's mad.
So for me, thinking back, if we're talking like video games aside, like no Nintendo, because obviously that's even now that's just totally my thing for collecting. But the other huge thing from my childhood that isn't Beyblades was Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh, see, that was one of my other neighbours. That was what he was obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Don't get me wrong, right? Pokemon, the games were unbelievable, right?
The card game was dog shit.
The card game, to me at least, like there's loads of people who grew up with Pokemon cards, but it was more of like a collecting thing.
Oh yeah, sorry, I don't mean the actual cards themselves. I meant the actual game wasn't great, like the playability of the card
like
game.
Back at if you reverse time by 20 years and like all Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards are the shit. It's like quite new, fresh, like first 2 gens. Pokemon card game, people didn't play it. The average person didn't play Pokemon cards for the game. They played it, or they didn't play it at all. That's what I'm saying. They basically bought the cards to collect them and trade them, which is fine.
Yeah, like people do, like with like people who are into like football cards and those sorts of things, but like obviously more bespoke to a brand.
Exactly.
And an existing franchise.
Yeah, but Yu-Gi-Oh had You gotta bear in mind there was a difference though, because when you're a kid, right, you're constantly sucking, your head's like a sponge, it just sucks up information. So you're watching Pokemon the anime, and the anime is about them training the actual monsters and fighting with the monsters and blah blah blah. Okay?
Yeah, which is why we liked the video game, because it was like almost like a jump into
Yeah,
that world.
so when you, yeah, exactly. So if you're playing the video game, that's exactly what you're doing, right? But if you buy the cards, it's like, okay, these are just cards of the Pokemon. With Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
On the other hand, the anime,
is in the show.
the show
Yeah.
is they are literally playing a card game in the show. So you're watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're going, oh my god, I know that card. That's the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I need to go out and get that card in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can actually play the game as well, like they're playing it. Obviously not with the things coming out of the cards, but you can use your
Exactly.
imagination, and there's... And
With Pokemon, it's not like they were playing a card game. In Yu-Gi-Oh! They were literally playing a card game, and through watching the show, you knew the rules. That's like how it worked. Well, I mean, distorted rule set.
Yeah,
But
you learnt the game from a TV show. Like that was like a completely fictional TV show, and then they brought out merchandise with it, which happened to be a game that you could also play. I mean, incredible marketing. Don't get me wrong, but like it is
Yu-Gi-Oh! And
It
Beyblade,
spanned decades, though.
Yu-Gi-Oh! And Beyblades,
The two of them were peak.
literally, the reason they were so unbelievably successful in terms of like selling products were because the products they were selling were what were literally in the show. Like, you couldn't sell literal Pokemon, but you could sell the literal cards that they were using in Yu-Gi-Oh! To play the card game in the actual show. And in Beyblades, they were using physical items such as Beyblades. And you could literally copy and paste that into a real life product and fucking sell it. And kids were eating it up. And I'm not gonna lie, man, were they unbelievable times?
See, on like the one about card games, I think I was this really edgy kid that the manga and anime that I was into, and this is when I was a kid again. This is when I was like 7 or 8. And like nobody ever seems to talk about it. It's really sad. Duel Masters. Am I the only one that watched that?
Duel Masters. No, I do know what you're on about. That didn't take off.
I got so into that. I know, it's really sad. It was so good. I had the game for my Game Boy Advance SP. Like, I had the game, I had the card decks, I had everything for that. I was obsessed with Duel Masters.
I know what you're on about. Like, did you ever, like, talking about card games, Magic the Gathering?
Never got it. Never understood it.
Me too. Like, people are... I feel like that's another card game, though, that's, like, totally still... Like, people are still buying and playing the shit out of it. Like, there's a card...
Again, it's like people our age and older, it's like too much younger than us, and they don't play these sorts of games anymore.
Yeah, but they still release cards. Like, there's a retro card called... And I'm probably going to get this wrong, but Black Lotus, I think. And if you have like a first edition original Black Lotus, it goes for fucking stupid prices, man. Like crazy prices.
Fuck.
It's Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and Magic the Gathering are like the holy trilogy of retro card games.
You see, what I always used to get really confused between, when I was younger, between World of Warcraft and Magic the Gathering, because they were seemed so similar, and I thought at one point they were like the same franchise, but they're not. And like realistically looking back, it probably would have been a wise idea for them to become the same franchise. They'd probably be even bigger.
I've never in my life owned a single card from Magic the Gathering.
Did you ever play World of Warcraft though?
Here's a good story actually. See, when I'm just gonna guess, I don't actually know, but maybe like say like 10 years old. It's my birthday. And Bloomfields used to have a game. Don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember Game. It was such a good shop.
So I went into that game in Bloomfields as a kid. It was my birthday, and I got World of Warcraft, the base game. Like, this is back when you didn't download like PC games. Like, PC games were exclusively discs.
Yeah, they were all discs.
Yeah.
If you tried to download it, it would have taken about 6 weeks. Like, fucking dial up internet speeds.
So it was my birthday. I went in and I bought the original. I say I bought, but my parents bought for me the original base game and the first 2 DLCs. And I'd seen and heard about World of Warcraft, and I was like, this is gonna be so fucking good. I'm gonna love the shit out of this. I got home, I installed the base game, I installed expansion 1, and I tried to play the game, and it was like, you need to pay for a monthly subscription here to play this.
Yep.
And I was like, obviously as a kid, I was like, what? So I got my parents, and they were like, yeah, you're not playing this game. We're returning it tomorrow. So the next day, we had to go back the game and return my fucking World of Warcraft and its 2 expansions.
So you've never actually properly played it?
No, actually.
Oh, dude, I got it. There was at one point, and there was like a free trial on it, and I never got to play beyond the free trial. It was like a month free trial, which back in the day was like unheard of. And dude, I was like, that's one of those ones, like, if that was given to kids nowadays, I could see why they're addicted. Like, I was sucked into that. I was obsessed. Absolutely obsessed.
To this day, like, it's one of those things where, like, it's still huge. It's still a really good game.
I can't believe how big it still is. Like, I still get adverts popping up on YouTube for it.
Yeah. I could totally pick it up and play it right now. But I'm afraid, Tom, I am terrified that if I bought World of Warcraft,
that's all you'll ever do.
like 12 months down the line, I go from what I am now to a fat, sweaty neckbeard, munching on gluten-free
Cliff. And you're just like twitching, going, "No, I need the talisman. I need the talisman.
No,
like,
I need the talisman of doom to complete the mission."
And the bag of Doritos in the corner of the room.
That is one of the best South Park episodes of all time.
You know the one I'm thinking of?
The World of Warcraft episode, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
That's so legendary.
So damn good. Oh, that's class.
Really, really like South Park. See if you're looking for like a show that's just like a light watch you don't have to pay attention to, that's like a comedy. Like say you're the kind of guy who like watches fucking Friends and shit and How I Met Your Mother and It's Sunny in Philadelphia. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And you're out of shit to watch and you're rewatching shit. You find yourself rewatching shit. Just fucking do it. Go watch One Piece? What the fuck am I on about? Just go watch South Park. It is so funny.
Unless you're easily triggered.
Unless you're easily, yeah, exactly. It's not for everyone. See if you're like upset by much. Don't watch South Park.
If you get upset by anything controversial, don't watch it. Like, that is basically the advice.
But if you like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, for example, you will love South Park. Right. Off the top of your head, your top 3 favorite cartoons as a kid.
Okay. This is going to be controversial. Oh. SpongeBob.
Okay.
Was one of them. Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh.
And Powerpuff Girls.
Dude, I actually, to tell you what, I was never much of it. SpongeBob was on Boomerang.
No, it was on Nickelodeon.
Oh, sorry. Yes, my bad. Nickelodeon. And I was a total and utter Cartoon Network kid, but I loved Dexter's Laboratory and I loved Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls, Mojo Dojo.
Mojo Dojo. And him? Do you remember him?
What, from Powerpuff Girls, the weird devil guy?
Dude, was that not the scariest? I guarantee, if you go back now, him, the devil guy, was the scariest fucking antagonist of any cartoon ever. For kids.
He was really, really fucking creepy. Like, there was just so many things looking back were not okay with that. Like, It was like the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but in a cartoon form. It was so creepy. You know what I mean? The child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is a living nightmare. Even
It
now,
is,
as an
it is.
adult, you kind of watch it and you just like tell your wife, baby, I'm just gonna go to bed tonight. I don't feel really up for like anything.
Yeah, it's just like, I just want to cry myself to sleep and hope that he doesn't come in going, anybody want some candy? Like, literally, this horrifying shit. But yeah, that's whenever I think about him from Powerpuff Girls, like, I was like, weirdly similar characters and like just the vibe they gave off, just pure creepiness. Like, I don't think would be. But what was
Do
what
you
was the
think
other one?
that fucking Johnny Bravo could come out today without people going apeshit?
People would go fucking ballistic. Johnny Bravo. Hoo-ha, hoo.
Fucking loved Johnny Bravo. I loved it.
He was
It was
class.
so funny. Even now, it's still funny.
It was like, again, like, I think because of like modern TV shit and the kids are more obsessed with like reality TV shows and TikTok than they are actual like cartoons. Like,
It's because YouTube is like... YouTube was obviously a thing when we were younger, but YouTube is like what people... And Netflix is what kids watch over like Sky fucking channels now, you know what I mean?
like when I watched YouTube, I didn't really start watching YouTube until I was like 9 or 10. Like whenever, and even then, like the internet was so bad then. Like you had to like load a video, pause it for like 20 minutes, then you could watch it. And back then it was like funny fails, like biggest fails of the year, or like people falling and hurting themselves, that sort of content. It wasn't really in the creator era as much back then. Like the creator era wasn't quite about, so it was more like genuinely funny shit. Like a bit like You've Been Framed. But
Yeah.
because it was stuff like that and it wasn't like series or like a content creator you kept going back to, it was just random stuff you'd find. Like, I don't think it was as addictive as it is now. The really well produced content, whereas back then it was like, you know, someone trying to go on a mechanical bull and getting fucked off into the corner, you know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
PewDiePie.
But going back to your top 3 in Cartoon Network, I totally fucking agree with that, man. That's a good top 3. I really liked all 3 of those shows.
Yeah, there was so many good ones. Cartoon Network was so ahead back then. Like, it was so ahead of the game when it came to these different ones. Like, there was, what was it, Card the Dog?
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my
That's
god. I think
Like, that was, again, a weirdly creepy show for kids.
dude,
like, everything
that
was
was the
very dark.
original kid. You know, it was fucking terrifying.
And then what was the other one? Was it Cat Dog?
Oh, that was Cat Dog actually came before even that. Like Cat Dog was like my mum's generation. Like she grew up in Cat Dog. It just
Oh, really?
lasted a long time. Yeah. Cat Dog was fucking
shit.
super old. I'm so
It
amazed
was,
you
but
knew that.
again, it was so good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
And like, but like, Courage the Cowardly Dog, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was a bit creepy.
I think
But
my
yeah, like, what would yours be?
let me hold on. Let me think. I know one for sure.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Number 1 without a doubt. Like, it is the creme de la creme of fucking Cartoon Network. Was Ed,
Yeah.
Ed and Eddie.
Oh, I forgot about it. Yes, sorry. Ed, Ed and Eddie is a very, very close runner-up.
Ed, Ed and Eddie. Oh, that is
Eddie.
even to this day. Buttered toast. Still fucking hilarious.
It was class.
It's hard to narrow it down to 3, but I'm just gonna spout out some. But like, did you ever watch Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
Yes. I was literally talking to someone the other day because they were like chatting to me about how they were making cookies, and I was saying, "Oh, just make sure you don't put it up to 2,000 degrees," and they got the reference, and I was like, "Yes, I appreciate this."
I remember as a kid, they were gonna premiere the first episode of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and it was like an extra long episode. And That's so weird that I remember that, because must have literally been like 7 years ago. Like, I must have been 7 years old.
Which is many years ago. 18 years ago.
Lots of years ago, but...
18 years ago. That is fucking wild.
And then,
that is insane.
As a third, I can't even think of like one. There's so many. I mean, just to pick one, I will say The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh, fuck yeah! I had the game for that as well. Yeah, Game Boy Advance.
Do you want to hear the weirdest thing? Like, this is like the weirdest tradition. I guarantee there's no other weirder tradition that exists. Every single year, without fail, we have a tradition where Christmas morning consists of a glass of Prosecco and some pig in blankets for breakfast. And in the background, while we open our presents, we will stick on The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Every single Christmas, and I am not even fucking taking the piss.
Why?
For like years and years, it was that we would just stick on Cartoon Network cartoons. We haven't had Sky
Right.
for years. Like, no one uses Sky anymore, I don't think, but basically we used to stick on Cartoon Network cartoons for years, and that evolved into, we're too busy opening presents, so we'll just, every Christmas morning, we have The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy on while we open our presents.
That's well, an unexpected tradition. That's a nice thing that you've still got that as a tradition, though. That's class.
I have one more thing here to bring up before we wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Did you ever, as a kid, read Goosebumps?
Yes. I had several of them that I, again, picked up at a car boot sale. Scary as fuck. The TV show was... I couldn't watch the TV show. The books were great, though. The books were very good.
I only ever read the books, but do you remember, is there any that stand out to you as, like, a favourite?
There was one... again, this was like a lot... I mean, I must have been like 6 when I read some of these. It was one, and like hands came like through the floors and like pulled the kids through.
Jesus, that sounds like a creepypasta.
That was definitely one of the books though that I read. And like the hands that came through the floor and like pulled the kids down. Because I'm pretty sure I read the book and then it was also on the telly. On the telly, it was fucking horrifying. I thought I was gonna die. I couldn't sleep at night. I was like staying away from the floors, like no matter what. No, what was it? What would be your highlighted one?
The absolute creme de la creme of Goosebumps, for me at least, as a kid, was one called Monster Blood.
Monster Blood.
I
don't remember
I'm
that
pretty
one.
sure it's called Monster Blood. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was like an OG, and it was like, it had like fucking 3 or 4 books. Like, there was 3 or 4 parts to it. But it was about like green goop, or like maybe it was literally just Monster Blood. I can't remember. That if you touched it, you'd like turn into something. I'm not gonna lie, I can't even remember it. I just know that it was about maybe a girl who went to live with her like step family in like an abandoned town or some shit, and there was shit locked in the basement, and it was Monster Blood. That's so fucking crazy. Like, that's something I'm talking about. Trying to tell you is terrifying, but it was so long ago that I actually do not properly remember it.
Yeah, the mind is a wild thing, my friend. A wild thing.
That's so strange.
On that, we should probably wrap it up because people are probably fried from all the shit chat that we've had so far.
Oh, believe me, I'm gonna cut this down like a great oak in the.
I was gonna say like the Amazon rainforest.
But yes, we return after what is a disgusting amount of time, and it's the most unorganized, shitty episode.
But
Podcast.
what matters is we're back. We're back.
That's it. We're back.
And this will become and this is going to become more regular, and we're going to make sure that we keep posting but we're only going to keep posting if you like, share, tag all your friends, get your granny to like it, and if we don't hit 3,000 likes, the Monster Blood's going to come and get you.
No, he's not wrong. Like, Monster Blood will come and fucking destroy your life if you do not like, comment, and sub. You have to do all three, otherwise you're fucked.
On that note, thanks everyone. Tune in for the next time. We'll hopefully get another one out in the next 2 weeks. Bye.
More like a month. Bye.